Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today we're going to talk about the paddle move and why you may or may not be doing it wrong. All right everyone, so welcome back to another episode of You're Doing It Wrong. Now I know that title sounds a little bit like, I don't know, it might offend some people. It is a little clickbaity, and I do apologize for that, but the goal of this segment, this You're Doing It Wrong segment, is to just point out things in the magic community that I see that I know could, just by even just making one little tweak, just a 1 degree change could actually completely improve the effect that you're doing. So last week we did the double lift, and today I wanted to talk about another one that really bugs crap out of me when I see people do this, because it's like, oh, I don't know, it just gets under my skin when I see it. If you do this, don't, I don't want you to take offense to it. I want you to just see it from like my perspective. And then if you guys think that making these changes will improve it, I encourage you to do so. So here's what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the paddle move. Now, so for those of you who are not familiar with what paddle move is it's a way to essentially show both sides of an object, usually a flat object like this marker. It's a flat marker. Usually I have like my hot rod, or you can use like keys or something. I don't have those with me right now, so we're just gonna use a marker for this example. But the goal is so you can show like one side, and then when you turn it over to show the other side. Now, I'm gonna show you what this looks like when like 90% of people do it, and it drives me nuts. Okay, so right here I have a marker. You can see on this side and on this side, right? Normal on this side, normal on this side, right? Can you see that? Normal on this side, normal on this side. Now you're probably thinking like, well, what's wrong with that? And the answer is, since when do you ever show someone, if you're gonna show someone both sides of something, since when do you just like quickly go back and forth doing this? Like it looks weird, right? So here is how I do the paddle move. And again, it's just a 1 degree change. You're pretty much doing exactly the same thing, but you're gonna make it look a little bit more subtle, and it's not gonna look like you're doing a magic move, because this, I don't know, it just looks weird. Before I show you guys though, I just wanted to remind all of you that I've just launched my new membership program, the Mob Squad. If you guys want to join that, all you have to do is just click the join button below. You guys will get access to exclusive videos, early releases, stuff like that. And I'll be doing shout outs on my channel to all of the new members. So be sure to check that out. If you haven't already, also be sure to like, share, and subscribe the O'Brien Magic YouTube channel here. Make sure you ring the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead, I'm gonna move this down just a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at how I do the paddle move. So if I wanted to show two sides of an object, I would do something like this. So you can see on one side it has, like the Sharpie logo, and of course it has the Sharpie logo here on the other side as well. That's it. That's all you got to do. You don't have to do this and 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 this to show both sides. So like, let's just say this was like a hot rod, right? So for those of you not familiar, the hot rod is a stick. It's just like this. It's wide on one side but thin on the other side. So what it allows you to do is roll it in your fingers like this. And it's got, different colors on one side, but then if you actually rotate it, all of the colors are the same on the other side. But what you want to do is you want to show that it's got the rainbow colors on both sides before you do the change. Shake it and change it into like the one that has all the same colors, for example. So rather than saying, look, you see how it has all the same colors on both sides? Like, look, it's got a rainbow there and a rainbow there and a rainbow there and a rainbow there, right? Instead of doing that, all you have to do is just, I have this stick, right? So on one side, it's got like a rainbow thing, but the interesting thing is it's the same way on the other side as well. So what I'm doing is I'm passing it from one hand to the other. So it looks like I'm just turning it over and gesturing, but in the act of turning it over, I'm doing the paddle move. Now, I don't want to talk too much into specifics in this video about what the paddle move actually is. If you guys don't know and you want to know, I'm sure there's plenty of videos on YouTube already teaching the paddle move. And I highly, 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 highly recommend checking out Color Sticks by Eric Stevens. He teaches a few different ways to do the paddle move. visual changes that will knock your socks off. These changes are incredible. Eric Stevens' beautiful color sticks routine. I highly suggest you guys check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can take a look at that as well. But one more time, so all I really do is I just pass it from one hand to the other as I'm gesturing. So you can see it looks the same on this side as it does on this side. Maybe you're using keys, like there's, I forget the name of the routine, but it's like a copper silver transposition type thing using keys, where you're showing that you have a brass key and a silver key, and you're doing, you know, you're doing that paddle move so you can show both sides of the keys before you do like the transpo move. Same exact situation. You don't have to be doing this with the key. Look, you see how the key is silver on this side and silver on this side? Look, silver here, right? Can you see that? You see how it's silver like on both sides? Right? So just cutting that out, and I know you guys learned it that way because that's the way that you guys were taught to do it. And it's not even your fault. It's just the way that people have done it for like ever. It's the way I've done it for the longest time. But I feel like it's just more natural to just show, you know, here's the thing on one side and the thing on the other side too. And you just execute the paddle move and you do that. And it does exactly what it needs to do, because the more that you do all this crazy stuff, the more people are just going to think like, that's kind of weird. Like, why is he showing us both sides? Why is he emphasizing so much that he's showing us both sides? Like maybe something's going to happen. It's a similar thing like when you're doing color changing deck, where when some people say, you notice how all of the backs are red, and they're always showing like the backs, they're doing like a frustration count thing. Notice how all the backs are red? Isn't that interesting? And people are like, not really, like it's a deck of cards. Why would that be interesting that all the backs are red? Unless the backs are not going to be red soon. So by you know, doing this thing, you're kind of telegraphing that a little bit too much, you know, like, well, why is he emphasizing so much that both sides of this key are the same, or both sides of this Sharpie have the word Sharpie on it, right? Like maybe this Sharpie you can like erase on one side, and you can do that thing where you like vanish the word Sharpie or whatever. Why would I say, look, it's got Sharpie on this side and Sharpie on that side? You see, like Sharpie there, Sharpie there. Isn't that interesting? No need to do that. You can just be like, yeah, it's a pen. You see it says Sharpie, it says Sharpie, right? But we're gonna go ahead and erase where it says Sharpie or whatever, right? So that's my little tip, I guess you could say, on doing the paddle move. I know this is like a long-winded video for something that's like so minute, but it just drives me crazy when I see people doing hot rod and they're flipping this thing around like this when they do the paddle move. Not necessary. Just show them the stick on both sides. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.